So our strategy is to attack the female first. And we attack both the male and the female, but we usually attack the female first because the female has the power of reproduction and choice much more than the male. And the female is also a lot more complicated and thus has a lot more avenues of attack. So the idea is to start with her desire for power. Men have abused women for so long, women want power. And ironically, they feel like they have power, but in reality, the opposite is true here. And so the natural one is you target them with beauty products and images, and you bring them down to feeling like they're nobody without them, and then they feel a lot of power, and they get access to easy, meaningless dog sex. And naturally, they feel low self-esteem as a result of that, and very often they'll use various forms of addiction to cope. Sometimes it's more of the same, and very often it involves alcohol and drugs and so on. And this is a self-perpetuating cycle. And naturally, whenever they meet somebody of a lot of power, because of their low self-esteem, they don't want to be in that kind of relationship. Then once we've converted the female into a dog, now we can attack the male. The male is much easier. The choice of mates available to the male is just dogs, and males need sex. And so they bond with a female dog, and naturally they get emasculated in the bedroom. It's very important to emasculate men as soon as possible. We really want that feminized man. Men are unstable without a female. They're very weak and very irrational. And so they will bond with a dog if that's all that's available to them. And so what happens is we've emasculated the male, and again, he'll get into the same addictive cycle. He'll be frustrated in the relationship, he'll feel emasculated, he'll start trying to make himself feel better with his cars and of course his beer and his drugs and whatever else. And of course the male also has other avenues, masturbation and pornography, and that'll cause him to feel ashamed of himself, it will drain more energy. He'll feel frustrated, he won't have energy to find another mate, and the cycle continues. So in summary, what we've done here is we've taken the female and we first actually split her apart from her mother. That focus on pop culture, her mother may very well try to fight that. And what she looks like isolates her from that natural bonding with her mother, so we can now bring her to the point where she wants to elevate herself in the pyramid. People want to feel better than other people, so when you put on makeup or put on certain clothes, you raise yourself. And then your mate, she expects her man to also be elevated. And the man is obligated to, again, play that game where he wears the right clothes and acts the right way and elevates himself. And we're really driving people into addiction. And we don't want them spending money on traveling and meeting people and stimulating their mind. We want them to spend it on clothes and makeup and toys and things like that. And of course, nobody's going to question this because they just take the moral high ground that we're offending the females. And so the iconoclast, the black swan, the powerful male doesn't want to do this. And what happens is that he gets marginalized. So at this point, the females are not going to want that powerful male. Remember, he's not wearing the right clothes. She has elevated herself above him. She's used to sex being meaningless and full of all those externalities. She rejects that male. It's foreign to her. And then often these black swans, these powerful men and women who won't play this game, get marginalized. Women get angry, men feel emasculated, and in many cases they get driven to homosexuality, which is really good at self-sustaining that. There's nothing wrong with homosexuality at all. It's actually quite natural. Experimentation and so on. The idea is to make people something that they're not naturally, whatever that may be. So it's to drive homosexual people straight and straight people homosexual, because you create a lot of stress. And it's really easy to control them, especially those really powerful people. Okay, so once we've attacked the male and the female separately, then their relationship will naturally destroy itself. Remember, at this time they're pretty early in their life, so they're immature, so men become natural dogs when they get frustrated, and they become childish and uncommunicative, and they think that women are the enemy. And girls elevate themselves above men because they're so silly and stupid, and they bond with other females, and of course think men are the enemy. The irony here, just like in the British system, is we have these two parties who think that each other is the enemy, when in reality the enemy is a third party who has caused them to fight each other. And so what we've accomplished is we've destroyed that male-female bond. We have an outlet for men to use sex as a way to control their aggression. We've maintained low energy states, and we've given them basic child-rearing skills. And we've also kept powerful men and women away from each other because they don't want to engage in this kind of relationship. And if they can't find another orchestrator type, they'll be alone. So this is going to generally happen naturally. We put the male and the female in a box that we defined. And so the female has a disdain for that obnoxious male world and that world that the male has to live in the pyramid. And the male now has to hide his feelings because he doesn't want to be emasculated by the woman, so his frustrations with the pyramid, he's all alone. Bad habits perpetuate, they don't apologize, there's natural strife, they see each other as the enemy. And then the market introduces analgesics like flowers and perfume. We make them think of these external objects and so on is what love is about, when great sex is really about really liking the other person, really feeling connected to them. We want to sever that. And the final one is marriage. We want to start the relationship by emasculating the man right out of the box. The marriage is about her. The ring, it's the party, it's the dress, and also that money that they spend. We want them to spend it on the party and the dress and so on. We don't want them using that money to travel and expand their minds as a couple, meeting other people throughout the world.